Hi, I'm Flo. Welcome to Wonder Women Talk Show. On this show, we celebrate women who are striving in their purposes. When I say that, we have a lot of young girls in Namibia that are doing a great job. Today, I'm joined by one of our young Namibian lady, and her name is Justine. Most of you that have been at Ali, you will know her, and I'll give her just to introduce herself. Welcome, Justine.
Wow, thank you so much, Flo. I think you invited me already in April.
Yes.
So, and I was very, very excited. So I'm so happy to be here finally, your show. So yes, thank you so much for having me here today.
We are honored to have you here. Tell us more about yourself. Who is Justine, your upbringing, and where you are now?
Well, I like to call myself as a Jesus girl. I'm a firm believer of God. I love God with all my heart. Everything that I do should be in line with God, God's purpose for my life. I have a 5-year-old daughter, beautiful young girl. I am the founder of the Dear Girlna Namibia. And yes, one of the values that I choose to live by is that when I look at people, I look at them with light in my eyes. Yeah. In my upbringing, I was raised by a single dad until the age of 13, and after that, he got married to my stepmother. So I was raised by my stepmother. After then, my dad and my stepmother, and I'm the firstborn of 10 kids, as young as I am. Yeah.
We hardly hear stories of people that were raised by a single father, though we hear a lot that were raised by a single mother. Where I come in with my question that you yourself, you are a single mother.
Yeah.
And what is the cross-cutting line between how you were raised and how you intend to raise your daughter?
With my father, he raised me up in a very protective environment. He protected me so much. Like, I think he was afraid of making mistakes. So he looked at me as his princess, so he wanted nothing to happen to his princess. So with that, I did not have freedom to express myself. He did not give me a choice, Everything he says, I need to agree with. I remember he told me that my friend, the only friend that I should have is TV. And then even when I'm watching TV, he was the one changing the channels. There was certain things that I needed to watch. So with that protective environment, and the other thing is he did not raise us up in a godly environment like I am doing now. So with my daughter now, I'm raising her up with the Bible in my hand, asking God for wisdom on how to speak to her, on how to talk to her. And the other thing is, I try to affirm her potential every single day. I try to remind her that she is beautiful, she is talented, she is created for a purpose. I affirm that because this was not done in my life, and it kind of impacted me so badly when I was growing up. So yes, I'm raising her with the Bible and affirming her on the other side and allowing her to express herself, and also listening to whatever she has to say, and not ignore her like I was ignored in my upbringing. So yeah, but my father did a good job.
Let's go back there when you say that your father not affirming you, it somehow impacted you. How did it impact you, and what impact does it have on you as you grow up, and when did you realize that is not what is supposed to be done?
I've always, at school, I was not really a bright child, as they call it. I was a D child. So I looked down on myself. I did not think there was something special in me. I did not think I was created with purpose. There was a time in the first time I heard that I was special, it was in 2016 when Mr. Adrian told me that, Justine, you are a special young girl.
How old were you?
2016, I think I was 22 years old.
And that was the first time.
And that was the first time I heard the word that, Justine, you are very special. And wow, it impacted me so much. So with me not knowing that I was special from a very young age, I always wanted to fit in, or did not feel belonging amongst my friends. I always felt like I'm not good enough. I'm not smart like my friends. Yeah, so it really affected me in a very negative way.
All right. Are you working on it?
I've already worked on it.
That's good. You recently
but it's a process, no? It's a process. We don't reach there.
But it's better when you realize it, so you make adjustment, then you not knowing that here I need to make adjustment.
Yes.
Justine, you started a girls program in your community, or in our community, which is called Girl Namibia, and it's about restoring dignity in our young girls and helping with them with purpose. Is there something specific that led you to start that?
Yes, as I already explained my background, growing up in a very protective young home, the only friend that I can say I had was my journal. I wrote down everything in my journal, and not having someone to speak to. I remember I went through emotionally abuse. I was emotionally abused. I was physically abused, and there was no one to talk to or to share these things with. My identity. I did not know who I was. I was like lost. So growing up in an environment like that, and also looking at how a lot of young girls have lost their dignity through the background, the environment that they grew up, made me to realize that someone needs to stand up. Someone needs to speak to these girls. That's why the name is Dear Girl. Like I'm talking to a girl.
It's like a letter.
Yeah, it's like a letter. Because as I said, Dear Girl actually came from the name Dear Girl, came from me writing letters to God. Dear Lord, dear Heavenly Father. So now I'm saying, Dear Girl, you are beautiful. Dear Girl, I'm here to listen to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what is the purpose exactly, and how are you doing it, or how are you taking this whole initiative?
Yeah. So Dear Girl Namibia was created to instill hope and to inspire our Namibian young girls by creating the right kind of understanding that will revive and sustain their hope for a dignified future. Yeah. So we want to give a hopeless girl, hope. We want to restore a dignity. We want to remind them of who God say they are. Yeah.
That's a very good initiative. There was a point when you once picked a girl that you celebrated on your Instagram page, if I remember, I think it was for a week. What is the whole idea behind that? And does the girl need to achieve something for her to be celebrated on your page? And what was her achievement?
So, Flo, there's a lot of young girls in our community that are doing good work.
Yes.
That are phenomenal. We call her a phenomenal young girl. A girl that is busy impacting the lives of girls in her community, but people are not celebrating her work.
Yes.
She is inspiring people in her community. She is, for instance, taking care of the old people in her community, but no one is noticing these things. I believe in girls. I love girls that are influencing in their community silently, not wanting to be known, but they are doing it silently. So for what Dear Girl Namibia is, we look at these girls and then we pick her up, we put her on our social media, and we celebrate her. We celebrate her success story, what she's doing that people are not really noticing. That humility is what we celebrate.
Yeah, that's a very good point. We have a lot of people that are doing good work out there, but they are not on the line spot. So no one is noticing them, therefore they are not celebrated, even if what they are doing is really good. Talking about dignity, is self-respect the same as personal dignity?
For me, let's start off really explaining what dignity is.
Yes.
Dignity, and I'll use Maya Angelou's quotes there. Dignity has to do with one understanding that they are worth to get the best treatment. One understanding that what they have to say is important, and because it's important, they will say it. One understanding that she deserves the best treatment, and she also has the responsibility to give that best treatment to the next person. And then when it comes to respect, it has to do with the way you take care of yourself, the way you value yourself, the way you handle yourself, self-respect. That is how I define the two. So we're saying that we cannot separate the two. We cannot separate self-respect from dignity. Respect, when you lose your respect, you lose joy. And when you lose joy, you don't want to learn. And when you don't want to learn, what happened is you don't learn who you are, and you don't even learn about other people and what's happening in your community. And when you don't learn, you also don't understand that you will not know that you deserve the best treatment, which dignity then comes in. You will not understand that there is greatness within you. You will not understand that you need to voice out things that are close to your heart, So dignity and self-respect, they are on the same side of the coin. We cannot separate the two of them.
Let's go back when you said that you didn't have that environment at home where you are allowed to say what you feel because you believe that it's right. This is what I think need to be done, and you were not given that platform.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people out there who are living in homes. Their views are not welcomed. They don't speak because to them, it's not like they don't have that self-respect. They do, but the environment is not conducive enough to say out your views. What are your views about that?
So for me, is for a young girl that is maybe sitting still at home right now, and she has this unfair treatment happening in her house. For me, I first of all, she needs to journal, because when you journal, you release, you speak it up instead of the things being bottled up inside your heart. You speak it up, and then you also try to see how can I express myself. What is, maybe find out what is your parents' love language. How can I communicate with my parents better? But they need to speak up.
That is a good job that you did. What is the vital, or is it vital for both parents to be involved in a girl's child for them to have a fulfilling life?
Yes. First of all, I'll relate it to how I grew up with only a single dad until the age of 13, and now being a single mother, raising
Your daughter.
My daughter. This is actually very emotional for me. So I strongly believe that indeed God was not wrong when he says that a mother and a father needs to play that role. I believe that his initial plan, it was supposed to be like this, like an umbrella, closed up. The father and the mother together, and the child is under here, like an umbrella, So the father affirms the child's potential at a very young age. The mother nurtures the child at a very young age, together in partnership, It's a close gap, Florence, as you can see. So both of them were supposed to fulfill this role from a very, very young age. Now what happened is, it's not happening in our society. There's now a gap. So what happened with these gaps, things filter through to this young girl that is under them. Rejection comes through. Peer pressure comes through, the need of validation. A lot of things that were not supposed to be there, because a child was not affirmed. It's not being affirmed because of the separation. She's now no more under the protection of her father and her mother. That's why we have a lot of young girls. Like I've done a lot of camps with girls, and one of the issues that I've seen is because of this, both parents not being in the picture of the young girls. Of course, I'm not saying that single parents cannot do that. Like I'm a single mother, and it's hard work. it's really hard work to raise a child on your own, to make sure that you are affirming her potential here and you are nurturing her here. Ne? It's hard work to do it alone. So yeah, both parents need to be in the picture.
That's a very good. Justine,
Yeah.
why do you think it's vital for both parents to be involved in a girl's child's upbringing, for the girl's child's self-identity?
Yeah. So yeah, Florence, in the absence of that umbrella that I demonstrated earlier on, is that the child now goes out there seeking for validation from friends, seeking for identity, for not knowing who she is. You know, even if people tell her that there's greatness within her, she does not believe this, because these were not things that she was told at a very young age. I remember when I was, for instance, told now that I'm special, I was questioning these things still. You know, it took time for me to realize it. Until now, it's a process. When people tell me things, it takes time really for me to accept that indeed this is what God says I am. You know, but when both parents affirm them already from a very young age, kids don't struggle with this. But the good news is there's a table of support. You know, this table of support consists of the community, the teachers at school, who in the environment they raise up. They maybe this girl grows up. So these people can also play a role in shaping this girl child. So yes, yeah.
Okay, with the perception that and understanding that human beings, we are relational and we are sexual beings, and then now you find yourself in the world of single, and now you are a single mother. What happened for you to arrive at that point that I will be single for as long as until Mr. Right comes?
Wow. Yes. So recently I was asking myself, "Yo, Justine, you're now single for 5 years."
Sure.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, that's a good question. So in 2016, I attended the relationship seminar, you know, at Ali. When I attended the relationship seminar, I invited the father of my child to come to the relationship seminar. In that relationship seminar, we were told about how God's desire for us to be sexual, pure, pure in everything that we do, you know. But before I met this guy, I made a promise to myself that I wanted to get married as a young virgin girl. The age of 25 already. So I was sitting in that relationship seminar, and I was 25. No, yeah, 25. And I'm looking at myself. Not actually, I was not 25. Sorry, I was 24. A 24-year-old child having a child, not married, lost her virginity. Wow. And the lady's talking about sexual purity. I remember crying in that session, asking God, "Lord, I've messed up. Please forgive me. Help me to start all over again." You know, and then the lady goes into to say that there are maybe people sitting here that messed up. There is a second chance. And then I told myself immediately that I'm going to grab this second chance. And then she goes on to say that, but it requires a game plan. You know, and then I went home and I thought about it so much that now what will be my game plan to be sexual pure again, to be pure again, to make things right with God again. So my game plan at that stage was simply to just break up with the father of my child, because things were not going very well at that stage as well. I was not happy. I was in tears most of the time because I was regretting the decision that I made. So I told myself, I'm going to start all over again. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to make things right with me and God. I'm going to seek God's face in my life. You know, that's why I actually decided to be single until today.
I don't think if it is an easy decision to make, especially in this world where there are even vacation, where people are taking vacations with, and then sometimes we see these things. Was there a point when you were maybe pressured and you wanted to confirm, like, Justine, what the road it requires discipline?
Until now, I'm being pressured. Sometimes I tell people that I'm single for 5 years. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why are you single for 5 years? And I give them the reason why, but they're saying, no, you are growing old, And I told them, no, it's because I first want to seek God's kingdom before the next thing. I want to be the right person, because we are too busy looking for the right person. And not making ourselves right first. Person. So I want Justine to be the right person. So yes, the pressure is there, Florence. I am pressured by my parents, by my siblings now. They are on my case, saying that my young brother actually comes to me now with a list of guys. I think this one is good for you. I think this one is good for you. And sometimes there was a time I confirmed. Because I was pressured, I almost went into it again. And then by the grace of God, God pulled me out.
So what keeps you grounded and focused?
What keeps me grounded and focused is spending time in the Word of God. And also knowing what I want. Knowing that I've a purpose. And also knowing that there's my daughter looking at me. Whatever I do now, whatever decision I make today will affect her. Yeah. So I want to be a role model to my child. Yeah.
Okay, and so now you are at African Leadership Institution, where you are an administrator and a relationship seminar facilitator, right? Was it always part of your purpose, or is it circumstances that landed you in that position?
Yeah, for me, it was circumstances, but for God, it was purpose. And for now, I also want to believe that it was purpose. It's purpose. How I got there. It's actually very. It's a funny story. I was sitting there very depressed one day, reading a newspaper, and then I come across an article written by Davi Fori on women in leadership. And since I love that topic so much, I read, and then he put his email address, and I'm like, I'm going to contact this man. He needs to tell me more about women in leadership. So I emailed him. He responded immediately. But at that stage, I was still in school. Then after I was done with school, I emailed him again. He responded. I told him, say, you know what, I want to volunteer at your institute, because there's a lot of things that I can actually learn from you. And then he said, yes, my wife, Krishna Fori, will interview you. Then she interviewed me. They gave me this opportunity for, I think, 2 weeks there. Then I came back. Then when I fell pregnant, my dad did not want me. I was rejected, so I needed a place to go. So I called Davi again. Said I need your help. I need you to either pay for me rent or to offer me something. And then he said, I'll pray about it. Then he came back to me with a wife, and then they said, we will offer you something to do at the Rock Lodge. There's an apartment that you and your child can live in. So that was circumstances that took me there, But immediately, African leadership, when I heard about what they are doing, it's 100% in line with my purpose, It's African leadership that made me understand that I have a purpose.
Yeah.
And yeah. So it's purpose and circumstances, if I can put it that way.
Okay. So for a while now, you've been facilitating relationship seminar.
Yeah.
What is the common thing that you have learned that most people make mistakes in either relationships or before entering relationships?
This is a good question, Frau. I think, and it's now also talking from my experience. A lot of young girls now, not only girls, even guys.
Yes.
So one of the mistakes that we tend to make is that people confuse between love and infatuation. You see a young guy today smelling good, looking good, and immediately you decide, wow, I'm in love.
I know.
I'm in love. And I like to say we create feelings for ourselves.
Yes.
Immediately you created feeling for yourself, This was just infatuation, With love, it's a process. It takes time. Love does not just happen immediately like that. It's a decision that we take every single day. Even in marriage, you need to decide every day that I'm going to love my husband today. So it's a decision that we make. But with young girls, it comes once. You see someone today, I'm already in love. And the other second thing that young girls make mistake as well with, or young boys as well, is the issue of not drawing the line. Defining your line. You go in a relationship, but you do not know why are you in that relationship,
So what are the advices that you give before they enter a relationship or in a relationship? What are those advices you give that it should at least hold the relationship to go to the next step?
Okay, let's start from the first one that I said, infatuation and love. You need, first of all, to know each other. You need to develop a friendship between the person that you want to date. Go in a friendship relationship. Go out in groups. Go visit, do things together. Do activities together. Get to know the person. Spend time in groups where you can tell that, okay, this is how the person acts with his friends. You need to study the person first before you can actually go in a relationship. The second part is know your values. You need to know, what do you stand for? What are your values? Communicate those values to the person, and draw the line, And then when you draw the line, you don't compromise on that line, And then let me say, if the line that the young girl draws now is that we will not be holding hands, Don't now hold hands. Don't spend time holding hands. Like that you are compromising on your boundaries. And the other thing is, find yourself first. Love yourself first. Yeah.
What is the importance of mentorship on young girls? And is it okay for a parent to take her daughter to be mentored by another woman?
Florence, if I'm sitting with you today, and if I have founded the Dear Girl Namibia organization, it's because of mentorship that I have received, especially from one specific lady, Masha Reed. Masha Reed, I met her in 2016 again when I was going through a lot of rejection and a lot of pain. She held my hand until this very day. She took me through the journey, helped me with advices, recommended me to seminars that I need to attend. She really shaped me up. So, and these are things that we need. We need people that have more experience than we do. People that would direct us to say that, okay, Justine, I've been that way. I've been on that road. And then if you continue to go on that road, you might fall in a pit. And don't go there. Go this direction. If you go in this direction, you will step into your destiny. You will meet people that will help you with your purpose. We need people like this. So it's very important also for parents to help identify people that can mentor their young ones. People that can actually speak life into the girl's life. Yeah. So mentorship is very, very crucial, especially in today.
Yeah. So where do you see Dear Girl Namibia initiative in 5 years' time to come?
That's a good question. I see Dear Girl Namibia as an organization training young Namibian girls come up with projects, projects that will help girls to restoring dignity of young girls. So it's like a training. I see it as a training institute, training girls that want to empower other girls. That's what I see, Dear Girl Namibia.
Justine, what are your last insights to our young ladies that are watching?
Okay. I think I'll just give them the same advice that I would love to hear when I was very young. So first of all, I just want to say that you are special, dear girl. You are very, very special. There's a lot of greatness within you. God has created you for a purpose. And you need to tap into that greatness that I spoke about, the greatness that is within you. You are fearfully and wonderfully created by God. You are a poema. And remember this. This is something that I constantly tell my daughter, that every decision that you make today, every choice that you make today has a consequence, being good, either bad or good. So be very careful on whatever decision you make. Yeah.
Thank you, Justine. There we have it, viewers. It was a very good conversation we had with Justine today. One thing I have picked up is, as parents, we need to affirm our children every day. And as young people, we need to make decisions, and we should know what to stand for. Until then, I'll see you. Thank you.